Jessica from Crabapple Cove Crochet, and I know I have been missing in action for quite a while. I think my last video was at the end of December, and I just, I was burnt. I was burnt out. I needed to take some time for myself and figure out, regroup, and decide how I was going to tackle 2026 as far as getting my crochet business further along than I have gotten it here in North Carolina. Um, so I have been crocheting, been reorganizing things, as you can see behind me. I moved my cubes around, so it looks a little bit more cozy in here for me now. I have plans for over here, maybe getting one of those boneless chairs so me and the dog can hang out and do our crochet in here. Um, I normally do my crochet on the couch out in the living room, which is fine. Is probably where I'll be doing it until I decide on something that I like for that space, which, knowing me and how I make decisions, could be tomorrow or it could be 3 months from now. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I've been taking it easy. I've been scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube videos, keeping up with the creators that I follow, getting some ideas for some new things that I want to offer um, at my booths when I go and do markets. I've been watching my Facebook groups and things like that for different events that are coming up. Um, and I do not have anything. Bantha, where are you going? Okay. Um, yes, yes. Okay, good boy, lay down. I don't have anything on the calendar confirmed until the last weekend, I believe, in March. So nothing in January. I just have the mindset being here in North Carolina and with the way the weather's been going lately that nobody's really going to be out at markets buying stuff. I could be wrong. I could be shooting myself in the foot for that, but hey, it's a live and learn kind of process. So I don't have anything for February because I want to take this time and go through my square reader, see what my inventory is, decide from what I have loaded into my square what I want to make, um, that I know sells, things that I'm going to discontinue, and bring in, like I said, new things. Um, so I've been trying out a couple of patterns that I had purchased a while back, and have just been hanging out as usual in either my Instagram. Um, so I'm trying to. Well, I'll figure that out later. I was gonna look and see a name of a pattern, but I can't do two things at once. I can't look at my screen and try and talk. Um, yeah. So I have teeny tiny little yarn haul of stuff that I was thrilled to be able to find. I didn't think I'd be able to find it anymore. Um, and I also ordered a bunch of eyes from sinker eyes from AliExpress, and they have arrived. I'm considering um, starting to paint or glitter my own eyes, in addition to making the little discs that I make um, for the eyes. So um, I don't know, nobody probably knows this, but about 3 years ago, I used to make epoxy tumblers, right? glitter, epoxy, water slide images, vinyl, all that kind of stuff. And when we sold our house, when we downsized, I tried doing it in the apartment that we had, and I was just so scared and so nervous about ruining the floor, or if the apartment had carpet, that I wouldn't be able to work with the epoxy. I didn't want to ruin anything. Um, so I phased that out. But me being me, I could never get rid of all of my glitter. And I have a lot of it. I have one box here that is, let me show you. I have this box here that is chock full of glitter. Um, I mean, I was hardcore into everything with doing the tumblers and everything was great. And like I said, I can't get rid of it. It's just so much money that invested into it. And I have probably three, maybe more boxes like this um, in my garage full of glitter. Um, what's the matter? Um, so I figured I would start using some of that glitter, because what am I going to do with it besides move it with me wherever, you know, I had it in Texas, and I moved a couple of times in Texas and brought it with me, and now we moved from Texas to North Carolina and I brought it with me again. So I need to do something with it, and it's there's just so much of it that I don't want to invest the time in trying to sell it online, like in, the marketplace or whatever, because it's a lot. Um, so I also still have tumblers too that I brought with me, just in case, saved myself a turner and all of that. So I could, but I'm not. I keep telling myself, we're not going to do this again. We're not going down that route. And besides, if I went back to making epoxy tumblers, I think my husband would kill me because of what you see behind me. And I also have right here um, two more of the 6 cube things in the corner with um I don't know if you could see underneath my table here, there's like wire baskets. Those um so yeah, yarn has replaced glitter. um but that's okay, because I'm making money still with the yarn and everything. So let's get off that irrelevant tangent. But like I said, I bought myself a bunch of eyes from AliExpress, and I've started. Um, this is one test pair that I made. So I'm learning. I'm not sure. See, what I did is I some some eyes done by other people on Etsy, because I'm like, well, what does the back part look like? Is it rough? Is it smooth? Is it neat? Is it, messy? How is it? Um, and I got some ideas from the eyes that I ordered, and I'm gonna tweak them, but these look absolutely gorgeous. These are 30 millimeter eyes that I did. Um, so, I got to make something to put them on. Um, so yeah, so like I said, I have my lamp, and this is one of the bags that I ordered from AliExpress, with I don't know what sizes. These might be 30s as well. Yeah. So I can't remember how many sets I ordered. So I ordered 30 and 35 millimeter. So because I like the big glitter eyes like on the Sploot series. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, focus. So yeah, I'm gonna move on to the couple of the patterns that I've been working on. Um, like I said, I originally started at the beginning of January, going through my square and seeing what patterns I need to restock. So that's what I did. And of course, it's all alphabetical. So that's what I was doing. I think I'm only to, what was I working on? C. So I have quite a ways to go in the alphabet, or maybe F. Maybe I got down to F. I don't remember because I have some frogs, but I also have chicks, and so I don't. I It's like 3 weeks ago. I can remember, song lyrics from 25, 30 years ago, but I can't remember my grocery list of stuff that I bought yesterday. Um, yeah, isn't it great? So where are we going to start? So I was watching um, some of the creators that I follow, and if y'all know, I follow Robin at Notting Hook Crochet. I love her to death. She is, her personality is just amazing, and she always makes me laugh. And she was on her swing challenge, and she showed the little fire demon that she had gotten and everything. So I went ahead and I bought the pattern as well. It's from Woolly Patterns on Etsy. um, as usual, I'm gonna have the information, maybe a screenshot up on the side. um, my only issue that I'm running across, pattern is super simple. I mean, super, super simple. And the only thing is that I'm having trouble getting my eyes in the right spot, um, for because you put the eyes on the one piece before you make the flame accent. Um, this one was my first one. The eyes are a little widespread apart, and um, I didn't know if they needed to go like, because it has to follow around the flame pieces, right? You don't want your eye over here and your eye over, you know what I'm saying? So that it looks like it's supposed to be like that. This one is a little better because um I made the two pieces. I didn't put the eyes on, and then I started doing the outside flame portion of it. So once I got to where, I was almost finished with completing it, I put the eyes in, but they're still a little off. Um, I'm just gonna make these into keychains. I still have to hide the tails, but I like this pattern a lot. I like it. It's super cute. I love the colors. I like it with the red, orange, and yellow, and the yellow, orange, and red. This was done with Parfait Chunky, so it came out a nice size, for a backpack buddy or something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna try and add them to swings like Robin did. I might see how it goes. But yeah, one thing for anybody who does purchase the pattern pack, it's this one, the demon, and I think the other one is a turnip, that comes in the pattern pack. Um, I don't, I'm assuming it happens to everybody because when you sell digital files on Etsy, which I have done in the past, it's the same file because you've uploaded it to Etsy and Etsy then sends it once the payment goes through. This pattern is I downloaded the one that said it was for the fire demon, and when I opened the PDF file, it was the turnip. So I downloaded the turnip one, and when I opened that one, it was the fire. So I'm thinking I'm going to message the designer on Etsy and let her know that for some reason, I don't know if it's an Etsy glitch with the, her patterns, because the file says that it's the fire demon, and when you open it, it's not. It's the turnip. And when you open up the turnip, the file that says it's the turnip, it's the fire demon. So yeah, that was a little confusing at first. I was like, oh my God, I didn't get the pattern that I ordered. And I said, well, let me check. And yeah, it's so you get the pattern, it's just labeled incorrectly. So I relabeled them in in my PDF, in my Adobe Cloud. So they're labeled correctly for me. So yeah, so there's that. So we've made him. Um, let's see. Next thing, I had seen, again, Robin had made her mandrakes, those huge mandrakes that, and she's designing the one pattern for the mandrake. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Love Harry Potter, anything that has to do with Harry Potter. Um, so I currently make the white owl that looks like Hedwig. Um, and I use the pattern that came from Christine at What's Up Cupcake. So, well, it's not Christine's pattern, but she also makes that, and I found it through her. Um, so I have a Hedwig, and I'm still debating on whether or not I want to make the mandrake, because the greenery and everything just seems like a lot. Like Robin said, it looks like a lot of work. And I don't know if I'm just going to make one um, to have, and so I can have other, I can have my Hedwigs, and I can have my, so like I said, I didn't know if what patterns Harry Potter themed I was going to do. So I went on Etsy and I was looking. I didn't decide on a mandrake pattern. So I did find a pattern for Dobby. And the pattern is for him to be done in acrylic yarn. So he's tiny. It's like a mini Dobby or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'll just use chunky yarn, bowl, 6 weight yarn, and see how he comes out. So I used Parfait Chunky for him, and this is him. This is from Aurora Groomy on Etsy. Um, and this is using Parfait Chunky. This is Shell, and his outfit here is Toffee. And then I added, these are, I believe, 35mm eyes that I had bought um, online from, I don't know if these are Christine's eyes or if they are from another shop on Etsy called, I believe it's called Felt Avenue. They also do glitter eyes. I will check and see where they came from, and I'll put it somewhere on the screen if I remember. But I think he came out really cute. Um, you do have to, he is not no-sew. The head is attached to the body. You do not have to sew his head on, which I was glad. You do make his ears separately, his arms separately, and his legs separately. Now, I'm thinking if I make another one of him, that instead of sewing the arms on separately, I'm going to try and crochet them in. Oh, and his nose is crocheted separately and sewed on. But I think he came out really cute. So, and he came out a nice size. So I was happy with how he came out. So I have a Dobby. I don't know, as far as price, haven't even given it a thought. When I get that far along and I'm actually putting him in my square, then I will think about that. We'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Let's see. So like I said, I had started originally my list of things that I was going to make alphabetically. So first thing that came up that I was running low on and needed to make were some axolotls. So I don't know, I'm just so done with the the way some axolotl patterns look, with like the long, I mean, they're always long and I mean, I know that's what an axolotl is, but they always seem to come out so small. I mean, I know I could use a bigger yarn to make them, but I don't know. So what I did is I was looking through Instagram and found this pattern. Um, where is it? It's by Becky's Plushies, BECCI_plushies, and it's a baby axolotl. Um, in her pictures, it's a lot smaller because I think she used a smaller yarn, like a parfait chunky or something. This was made in chenille brights, and this is the chenille whatever. It's either a tie dye or, oh, excuse me, one of the variegateds. But he's got a little tail, which I thought was cute. Um, so yeah, I made this one also. This is made out of the 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 gills and everything are chenille brights, and the body on this one is made out of the demi pearl from Michaels. This is the dark pink. I don't know what color it's called. Um, but yeah, that one is demi pearl. So he came out a little bit bigger than the one made with the chenille brights. I made one in yellow, which is also in the demi pearl, but I don't know, maybe my tension was off. Maybe this is a little bit thicker. Who knows? I think I have one more. Yes, I have one more. And this one was made, what was this made in? I don't know. It might be a leftover of the, oh my God, what is it? The Sweet Snuggles Light. It might be. I am not 100% sure. So, but I have, see if I can get them. I have the four, and I think they came, I like these. I like this pattern. It's really quick. The only thing is you sew the tail onto the body, which I'm sure, you know, you start at the head, you work your way down, you work your bobbles in and everything. I'm sure if you make the tail before you start the body, you could always crochet the tail in. Um, I might do that and make it completely no sew. The the gills are surface crochet, super simple. You know, it's just chains and slips and everything. So I have four of these. So that will help me with my stock that I need to bump up. And let's see. So A, B, B. I needed to make some bees, which was odd. I hadn't been selling any bees when I lived in Texas. And now bees are like selling, and it's so crazy how things in certain areas of the country don't really sell that well. And if you change locations drastically, like I did, you see the different things that sell. And it's weird. It not weird, it's just it's interesting. Um so I have had this pattern. This is my go-to pattern for my bees. It's by Crochet by Jenna. Um I think she might have it as a paid pattern, but I Um, I've had this pattern forever, and it was when I was too cheap to really pay for patterns, and she has a YouTube tutorial for it. So I just wrote down the pattern as she went through the video, and I have it just saved as a document in my Google Drive. But this is the pattern. I have 4 of them. Um, I'm trying making some bees in different colors. I've only made this one, the purple, which is chenille brights. And then I have 2 traditional colored ones. Now these are a nice size bee. They're not tiny, they're not mini. Um, but these are chenille brights, except for the black. The black I think is Bernat. And then the it's just, it's like a capsule. You just do your color changes, add your eyes. You can add some blush. I know she does in her video. And then you make 2 circles and you just stitch them on. Um, I stitch them on where the row changes and everything so that I can hide that and I don't have that jagged look underneath. Um, yeah, I don't think, yeah, I did that on all of them. So I have, like I said, Crochet by Jenna. I will uh, I'll put all the links to the new stuff in my Google spreadsheet that's linked in the description. Um, I'm not going to put, a link to the instructions that I typed out. I'm going to have a link to her video because, if I don't know if she has it as a paid pattern, she might. But I don't want to, you know, put myself out there and get myself in trouble for putting out written instructions for a pattern that she is, got on her for her to make money. I would never do that. So yeah, so we have 4 bees. And then I was watching Robin again, and she influenced me to go ahead and buy the Hugurumi capybara pattern. I have not stitched the eyes on. I didn't realize that. Just now when I pick them up, I'm like, where's his eyeball? So I'm going to try and make an effort this year to have some things that do not have safety eyes or felt eyes. I'm going to try to have some more things that have embroidered eyes so that, I don't lose out on any sales because it's going to a smaller child and they don't want to risk with the safety eyes. And I don't blame anybody who doesn't buy something because of that reason. But so these will be in baby safe, whoops, section that I'm going to try and make. No promises. Um, so right now I have 2. These are made with chenille brights, the caramel and the steel cut oats. I really like the steel cut oats color versus the toffee. Um, it's just becoming one of my more favorite colors to go to. So we have 2 of them. Let's see. Oh, I forgot about these. 1, 2, 3, 3. Did I only make 3? Yes, I think I made 3. Um, so again, alphabetically, I was looking through and trying to figure out what I needed to make, and I needed to make some more alligators because I'd been carrying 2 of them around in my inventory for a while, and then when we moved here, the alligators sold. So that was interesting to find out. But I have this little one. I do not remember where he is from. Where are you from? I don't. I really can't remember. I'm racking my brain. Um, I don't think it's a free pattern. I think I bought this one. Um, but I have three of them. So I've made three. The legs are sewn in, or not sewn in, but they are part of the pattern. When you get to that part in the row, you make the leg and you move on. Um, so yeah. So I like these. These are made in Bernat Mystical. This, I believe, is the spearmint color. Um, but I like the way they look. It gives it a little bit more texture. Um, so I have three alligators to add to the inventory. Um, I needed to make a new caterpillar. So I don't know if y'all have remember when I got my when I did the yarn haul and I had gone to Ollie's and got my $5 skeins of Bernat. So I made myself a new um, caterpillar. This is the Crochet Grove caterpillar. This is, the legs are done in Bernat blanket. I believe, I have no clue what color because it was, I had made something and I forgot what the pattern was and I pulled it all out and you know, caked it. So I have no clue what color this is, and that's just the way it's going to be. This is that multicolored yarn that I had gotten from, like I said, from Ollie's, and then the head is actually done in the Parfait Plush in whatever this peachy orange color is. And then I believe the antenna are just some Sweet Snuggles Light that I had. And I went ahead and I used some felt eyes. It was a face set that I think was free. It came with it's more like one of the freebies that they throw in when you know place a big order, and they give you that little bag with different things. So I have no clue where the eyes are from or you know what they're called. Sorry. Um, but yeah. So we have one more caterpillar, and let's see what now. I knew I needed to make some more myrtles, so I have um, three. I made three more myrtles. Uh, Again, these are, I believe the purple is a Bernat blanket. The top is a chenille brights variegated, maybe a tie-dye. I'm not sure. I think it's the tie-dye because of the way it actually looks. Um, these are chenille brights, the lime or something. I don't know the color. Um, and then this is chenille brights in the variegated as well as this. So, oh no, these are not myrtles. I'm just realizing that. Yes, these, whoops. Um, I mean, I saw a turtle head and I thought it was myrtle. Um, these are actually, this is Tofu the turtle because it's a land turtle. I just realized that when I turned him that way, that there's no flippers. Um, so yeah, these are all Tofu the turtle. I um can't remember who the creator is. Again, like I said, I'll put it up there on the screen. I'll add it to the Google sheet in the description. But this is my usual go-to land turtle pattern. Almost said recipe again. Um, Quick to make. The shell and the body and the feet and the tail are all together. You know, you start with the shell and then you make the shell, you change to the body color. The only thing that is sewn on is the head, which you make separately, which isn't really a problem. Um, Normally I tack the head back if I overstuff him. But I don't think I had to do that with him. Yeah. So we have 3. Tofu the turtle, not Myrtle. Oh boy, where's my brain lately? I needed to make some bunnies, and I was out of this particular kind of bunny, and this is from, I believe this bunny is a cable, no, oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. I think it's an Oak and Marlow bunny. This is Beady the bunny. Again, I am going to embroider eyes so that, because you embroider the nose on. So I have 3 of this Beady the bunny. I don't remember what yarn these 2 is, and I think this is Sand by Bernat. So this one I did the color change for the tail. In the pattern, it tells you to use the fluffy yarn, like the fur yarn, but I've never had any fur yarn that I was able to do it with. So I'll get some, but these I just made the tail the same color as the body. And this one I decided to be different and do the tail white. So yeah, so I still have to embroider the eyes on those. And this is a really easy pattern too. The ears are made separately, they are sewn on, and everything else is sewn in one go, or crocheted in one go. 3 bunnies. I'm still working on that bunny that I ran out of the yarn color for. I have not given any more thought as to that pattern right now. So if y'all saw my one video where I was complaining about that bunny is still not anywhere near done. I was working on some frogs. I wanted to make some frogs. I had seen one of Robin's videos where she said that you know, frogs don't sell for her. They don't usually sell for me. Well, they didn't, again, when I lived in Texas. Um, but I am almost, I shouldn't say that. Leggy frogs do not sell for me. I don't know for what reason, they just don't sell. So I was watching one of Robin's videos, and she had a turtle. This is a while back. This isn't her new video that is out where she did the pattern test of the turtle. And she had the link to the turtle that she did, or not turtle. Why am I saying turtle? The frog. Um, and when I clicked on it on Etsy, pulled it up, and then you know how Etsy always gives you suggestions for, things that you're searching for. I had seen the pattern that I ultimately did buy because I thought it looked really cute, really simple. Kind of reminded me of a leggy froggy, but not 100%. So what I did is I made one in chenille brights, and I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty cute. Um, the arms are crocheted in. The legs are, I think the arms are crocheted in. I can't remember. I would have to look at the pattern. It's basically a ball with two semi balls that are stitched on. The eyes, and then the legs are sewn on separately, and then so that, I guess the arms must be sewed on separately as well. um, so that was done in chenille brights, and I think it might be a little big, but who knows? So I went ahead and I did one in Parfait Chunky. I believe this might be pistachio. I believe so, because when I ordered, I had to order more pistachio, and it came in. So I remember opening up the box and giving it a try. Excuse me, I have a dry spot in my throat. So there is a size difference, not by much, but I like this size better. So I think um, I'm going to stick with using the Parfait Chunky, and I'm going to do a couple in different colors, like maybe a yellow and an orange, and um, maybe some of the turquoise color and everything. And so, but we're going to give this is called Frank the Froggy from Zombas, Zombas Crochet Cuties on Etsy. So I have him. Like I said, I'm going to make a couple more. And after that, was like I said, I was going through my list, and I needed to make another bluey. And then I made him, and I went to put the eyes on him and realized that I don't have any more of the right size felt eyes for this bluey. This one is done in chenille brights. I believe this is the denim, and this is the light blue and the white. I did use a plastic safety nose for him, but I have eyes. They're just for a larger version. This is the one. This is the Lumiel art one. So I went ahead online and I ordered from ADH Crafted. I ordered from her again because that's where I get most of my felt eyes from myself. Um, so I ordered the eyes, and I do have some triangles for his ears, but I ordered a little bit larger size. I want to see if it works better on this. So I have him, and I have another one of him on my table that's not stuffed or finished, because I didn't see the point of finishing him right now because he didn't have any eyes. His eyes are supposed to show up, I believe Etsy tracking says by like February 5th. So I'm not really worried because I don't have a show until the end of March. So I'll have two blueies for him for that show. Let's see. Oh, another beadie. So I made two in the sand and two in that one color that I have no clue on. Let's see. I needed some more. I still need more Mabel chickens. So right now I made two Mabels. I used the fuzzy yarn for the comb because I just like the way it looks better than, I have a hard time with the comb, because it's made separately and then you sew it on. I would rather have something that was surface crocheted, and I haven't really sat down and tried to figure out how to surface crochet it on for me, so that it looks right. But I made two. These are made out of, as everybody knows, the Bernat, the tweeds. And I made sure I don't know, I always seem to understuff my Mabel chickens, so I made sure that they were good and firm. So yeah, so we have two. I want to make a couple more, and maybe in white, some white and some cream, uh, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, then I was thinking about items that are going to go in my little mystery boxes. I wanted something cute, to see, you know, and I went ahead and I made, this is from Therapy on My Hook. It is her fast food bundle. So there's a lot of things there. It's a bundle. It's got a hamburger, it's got a chicken nugget, it's got a chicken leg, and I believe it's got a taco as well. Because I wanted something that was, a pretty decent size that would fit nicely in the boxes for my mystery boxes. Because I'm still working on that. Um, so I used the colors that she stated. She didn't state specific brands, but she stated colors in her pattern. And she had red. And at first I thought, I'm like, oh, okay, that's the tomato. And then I showed it to my husband. I said, look, here's a hamburger, right? And he goes, why is the meat red? And I'm like, oh, good point, you know. Um, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know why the meat is red. So I made another one where I made the meat brown. I used these are done in parfait chunky. So I used, what is it, chocolate? Um, so this is the pistachio, um, chocolate, then lemon, I think is what it is. And I can't remember what the brown is. Teddy, no, it's not teddy bear. I don't think it's teddy bear. Um, but I think it looks better with the dark brown for the meat instead of the red, but I already have it, so we're gonna use it. So, like I said, made two of them. So I'm gonna make a couple more of these over the next couple of weeks for my mystery boxes. I tried making the taco, but I was just confused with the way the whole thing was assembled, and it's probably not the pattern. It's probably me and my brain. And I was doing these in the evening after work, and instead of trying to, decompress and do something simple that I, have done a million times, no, let's try and do a different pattern that and I'm watching my true crime shows. So I got frustrated and I put it down, and I think I'm just gonna I'll try it again. Maybe this weekend we'll see how it goes. Because last week was one of the first snowstorms here in North Carolina in the Raleigh area. I am in South Wake County, um, and schools were closed for 3 days this past week. So I was home crocheting, doing different things. Um, yeah, because of the weather. And it's supposed to, today is Saturday, January 31st, when I'm filming this. Um, so hopefully I'll be able to get it edited and uploaded either tonight or tomorrow for February 1st. But we are expecting a heck of a lot of snow again this weekend. Um, right now, what does my computer tell me? Right now it is 24 degrees out, and we have a winter storm warning going on right now. So yesterday when I got out of work, ran to the grocery store and picked up some essentials, aka snacks, so that my husband and I didn't have to go out this weekend at all. Um, so there's that. But needless to say, I will probably, if it snows today and tomorrow like it's supposed to, because I work for the school district, they're more than likely going to either cancel or do distance learning like they did this past week. Um, so when there's distance learning, I do not work. Um, so I need to find a way to hopefully make money. And for me, that's crochet. And it's relaxing for me. So I am going to try to do the tacos that are part of the bundle. So I can have some more things for the mystery boxes. In addition to the mystery boxes, I um, stay on task. Stay on task. I'm telling you, me and my ADHD is just so bad sometimes. I'm sure that a lot of you understand what I'm talking about. Um, I have had, I noticed that I think I was on maybe a small food kick when I was trying the hamburgers, you know, I did, I have had this pattern for a while. I had seen the designer on YouTube, a video for it where she was talking about how it was in the final stages of pattern testing and it was going to be released soon, and I cannot for the life of me remember her name or the pattern or anything like that. So anyway, it is, I believe the pattern is called Tootsie, and I think this is so darn cute. It's, yes, it's a Tootsie Roll, and I think that they are adorable. Um, the whole pattern is crocheted in one piece, just your color changes. Um, the end wrapper pieces are crocheted on, so it's all it's surface crocheted. And she does have a link in her pattern to a video where she does the technique. Now, the technique she does um, for a different style of candy that she also makes, but the process is the same. So I have this little Tootsie Roll. I have been wanting to make him for a while since I got it, but I didn't have the brown yarn. This is all Parfait Chunky. So this is white, this is poppy, this is chocolate, and I think these are 18mm eyes. I did a red mouth so it would show up against the dark brown. Um, with the pattern, you get this one. You also get a mini pattern for a mini Tootsie Roll. It might actually be small enough for, I don't know, it seems a little bit big for a keychain, but I don't think he might fit. I could probably put him in a mystery box. In addition to the Tootsie Roll, she also has the colors for the bubble gum. So, which is like a blue and a yellow and like a bubblegum pink. I might make one of them, but this one is called Tootsie. I cannot remember her name. Um, but when I saw it, I had to get this pattern, and I have had this probably since November, maybe even before that. Um, but I definitely wanted to make him in my downtime, which I did. We'll see how he sells. Um, so some of these things I'm only going to be making one of and see if it sells. If it does, then I might decide to add it in. I might make one or two more so I can have like a little candy dish on my table in my booth, and we'll see how that goes. But these are so cute. They are just adorable. Um, so, like I said, I must have been on a food kick because, again, cheeseburgers, Tootsie Rolls, and then I was watching Robin again because I had not been watching everything for like a week or so. And then I go, oh my God, I have a lot of videos to catch up on from, everybody that I watch. And so I binged like three or four of Robin's videos all at one time. Well, not at one, one right after the other. And she had made, she was doing the Jelly Cat inspired, whatever she calls them. So I made the little cheesecake that she had shown on her channel, and this is freaking cute. This is adorable. And I did follow her advice and did the back loop only slip stitch for the color changes, so it looks nice, neat, and clean. Um, Made the legs. Unfortunately, I don't know what I did. I might have miscounted on one of the legs. One of the legs is a little bit chunkier than the other. Um, the strawberry was so simple to make. Um, I, I think this is great. And while I was making this one, I'm like, brain, what other colors can we do? So I'm thinking of doing like a chocolate chip mint one. Thinking about that. Maybe if I have time, do it with like the dark brown, the chocolate parfait chunky, because this is all parfait chunky. Um, and what do you call it? The mint green, and maybe stitching on some what do you call it, little specks for like chocolate chips, and then maybe a lighter brown um for the top. I'm not sure. And then maybe I'm wondering, I'm sure there's one out there of like a Hershey Kiss to do like a piece of chocolate or something on top, because like how this has the strawberry. um I was also thinking of maybe doing a blueberry cheesecake with the darker blue on top, and then a blueberry instead of a strawberry on top. But these are so stinking cute. So I've made one. Again, only gonna make one, gonna see if it sells. I've I also snagged the free pattern that Robin had that she mentioned in her video on Instagram, um of the macaron, the colored macarons. So I haven't gotten to that yet, but I'm thinking about making a couple of them. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I found, well, I'm going to hold on to those for now. I was scrolling through Instagram. Oh no, I wasn't on Instagram. I was on Facebook. And in one of my crochet groups that I belong to, um a bunch of pattern designers usually post different patterns that they are trying to promote that they've done. And what do you call it? I came across this pattern for an elephant, and I don't have any elephants in my inventory. I just, there's so many. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Actually, I do know what happened. Was having some computer issues, and it just automatically stopped recording, so I had to start new. Um, so like I was saying, I don't have any elephants for, any of my patterns, which, like I said, there's so many animals out there in the world that you don't realize that you don't have this animal or you don't have that animal. Um, so anyway, I found this um pattern. She had posted it on Facebook. I thought it was so cute, because it was so tiny in her hand. But I said, you know what? I still want some stuff to be of a decent size so that I can have things at a higher price point, instead of, tiny little things where it's a $8 price point or a $10 price point or a $12 price point. I wanted things that I could, you know, have there that I can earn a little bit more money, because isn't that why I mean, I know we do it because we love crochet, but we're also doing it because another form of income for me. Fuzz on me. Um, so anyway, it was this pattern for an elephant, and this is the little guy. I thought he was so cute. He's almost completely no sew. The ears are crocheted in, bobble stitches for the feet, and the only thing you make separately is you make the ears separately, crochet them in. um, and then you have his trunk, which you sew on afterwards. Um, the only issue, I had with the actual pattern and how it's written is, and it's one of my faults and everything, is that I don't read the pattern all the way through. I'm not the kind of person who's going to sit there and go, okay, you know, I need this yarn and I need this size eyes and I need this, I look, and I see, what size hook I need, what type yarn it recommends, and I just go for it. And I'm crocheting it, and I'm like, it's getting to the point where it's saying in the pattern to stuff and close, and I'm like, we haven't put the eyes on yet. And I'm like, did I miss it? So I'm scrolling back in the pattern and I'm looking in the instructions for where it says on what row to add the eyes and how many stitches apart and everything. And it's not there. You had to scroll all the way to the bottom of the pattern. The pattern basically gave you the instructions for the ears, how to make the ears, the instruction for the trunk, how to make the trunk, and then instructions for how to make the body. And, it was just, very matter of factly, where you start off with this, you increase to this, you decrease, you finish off and close. And after that, it was like, kind of like a side note, like, oh, by the way, um, add the eyes, at round 3 and 4, whatever it was, and this many stitches apart, and sew the trunk on, you know, this, round and everything. And I'm like, is it, I mean, maybe the pattern designers, is it that hard to say, put the eyes in on round 3 and between 3 and 4, where it says to do round 3 and 4. I mean, I know a lot of my patterns that I've seen or that I own have that instruction, but like I said, I was just going and I was crocheting and everything, and I started getting down to the very end where it was, I was going to start stuffing, and it doesn't say, like halfway through it'll say start stuffing or something like that. All of the instructions were down towards the bottom of the pattern, and maybe it's just me and the way it was that I just didn't like that. One other thing, and maybe it's because I made it so much larger than I used larger yarn. This is Bernat Mystical. Um, I think is the ears are heavy. Now, if you notice, one of them is flopping and one of them isn't, because I wanted to leave it to show you guys. This one is not, I tacked this one in place. I put a stitch through the ear and into the back of his body, and I tacked it down so that it wouldn't flop, because otherwise it flops in front of his face and he doesn't really look like an L. So I'm going to tack this one back after I'm done with the video. But yeah, like I said, maybe it's because it's a heavier yarn. Maybe it's because it's a bigger yarn, a chunkier yarn, like I said. But I love the size that it came out. It is a super simple pattern. And now that I know where to to put the eyes, I will do that as I go. I'm also thinking, it says to sew the trunk onto the body at round, after round 2, right? Around round 2. I'm just going to crochet it in at round 2. Um, and then I'm going to make sure that I line it up where, because you're crocheting your ears in. So it lines up nice with the feet. So I'm going to try, and I'm going to use the feet as a guide. So I will not, so maybe by then, no, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out to see what stitch and everything I need to add the snout to, so that it doesn't, so I don't have to sew it on. It's like 4 stitches, and I'm complaining about 4 stitches, but it just makes it easier for me to have it all done all in one go. The tail is, you know, crocheted in the round, you chain and then chain back down and go. But it's a super cute pattern. I like it. I'm going to try and I'm going to see what it looks like in Parfait Chunky. Um, the the designer, they actually added color, not yarn color. They used like powder colors, blush and everything to color the ears and to color the cheeks and everything. Now, if it was a solid color, I probably would have tried doing that. But since it's the speckled quartz, the rose quartz, I think is what it's called, in Mystical, I didn't do that. I didn't see the point in doing that. But this one is from Yarny Paradise, Yarny Paradise. They are on Etsy as well. Wasn't an expensive pattern, so it was, you know, reasonably priced. Um, and like I said, the size is going to depend on the size yarn you use. But I'm definitely going to make more. I'm just going to tweak it a little bit for me and see how that goes. Let me see. What else do I have? I also needed to make some more chicks and the eggs. I am all out of chicks and eggs. So what I had done is at one of the last shows that I was at, I started making the shells for, not the shells, the the bodies for the chicks. So I have 7 of them, seven, 7 of them, which I am almost, I have to put the fur on the top, the red fuzzy fur on top for that. And I made 7 of them, and then I'm like, okay, now I need to start making the eggs. And I like to use Big Twist plush for the eggshells. It, I don't know, it just, it's a nice thickness. It's a little bit thicker than Bernat blanket. So it always worked out nice. It always came out nice. And I had a couple of skeins of it and everything, and I was running low on Big Twist plush. And we all know that Michaels has not come out with a Big Twist plush alternative. And even the demi pearl is extremely hard to find. You can't find it really anywhere in any, you know, colors that really work well for you know, chicks and the eggs. So I was able to get one full egg, right, top and bottom, because what I said to myself is I go, and this is all I have left. This is what was left. I said, let me start with the top, and then let me do a whole egg, so that if I run out, I'm not, you know, I don't have 7 tops, and now I need to find something that's comparable for the 7 bottoms that I have to make. So I got 1.5 and I was amazed. I went online, I Googled Big Twist plush. Now, yeah, you can get it from some of these people on eBay and Etsy who bought it all when, you know, Joann's was going out of business, and now they want a bunch of money for these yarns. And who knows if Michaels is going to come out with it or have it available on their, you know, make it a website only thing. But I found it at Hirschner's, and I was amazed, you know. So I placed an order just for that, and it showed up, and I said, oh God, I hope they're not saying it's Big Twist plush, and it's, you know, a new format of Big Twist Plush where it isn't anywhere near what we are used to, um, from what we used to get at Joann's. So I got it, and it's Big Twist Plush. It's exactly um what it, you know, this is what I had bought at Joann's, and it feels the same. My husband had said to me, he goes, "Are you just going to get white?" And I said, "You know what I'm going to do? I am going to order." Now they didn't have a bunch of colors. Sorry, I got got stuff falling all over the floor. Other stuff that I want to show you guys. Um, but they had other colors. I got it in blue. This is pastel blue. Um, feels just like Big Twist Plush used to. They do not have variegated colors. So if you're looking for the variegated colors of Big Twist that they had, no. They had the white, they have this pastel blue, they have the light purple, which they call it lavandula, lavandula, whatever. Um, it's a 10.5 ounce skein. So I'll be able, I want to make for Easter or spring um, some shells in blue, some shells in lavender. And I also got this, the color on the screen is horrible, but this is sage. This is the sage green. So I figured these light colors, along with the white, would be perfect for springtime. So yay. So Firstners, let's see, each one was $9.99 a skein, which to me is pretty much along the lines of what we used to get when you would buy it at Joann's. So I've got one blue, one purple, one green, and I bought two white. Um, and we'll see how much I can get out of that. I'm so excited about that. So now I'll be able to do something with my chicken, the eggs. So let me think what else. If I can finish my shells, I'm gonna work on that and get those done because they've just been hanging out because I've been waiting to to make the video. I didn't want to make the shells until I showed you guys. I was thrilled when I found it, you know. Um, so I know I had talked to you guys a while back when I was prepping for my holiday markets, and I had showed you that I was doing cup cozies. Well, I had seen Christine from What's Up Cupcake. She does a cup cozy, and she does them. See, I was only ever doing cup cozies for wintertime. And I was like, maybe I should do them year round. Um, because if somebody has a Starbucks, a cold Starbucks drink, they're going to want something to put the cup in so that it, you know, doesn't get their hand all wet and everything like that. So um, I went ahead and I purchased the pattern that Christine uses, which is called um, it's from LTK Cuties, and it's the Meadow Cup Cozy. And in the pattern, it shows that you can do the top of the cup cozy in like fuzzy fur and everything. I have not done any of them like that, but I have been working on them and I have gone absolutely insane. Sorry. Um, with making these cup cozies. They are, oh my gosh, everything is falling. Um, this is what they look like. I love this stitch. It's, I mean, it's a nice thickness. Oh my gosh. It's, yeah, and you know, depending on the yarn that you use, you know, but they're they're adorable. And this is the top. This is how you can tell the top because you do a reverse single crochet around the top. So I have a bunch of them that I've been, um, they work up, once you read the pattern, it's a little confusing when you're reading it. I'm more of a visual person, and thankfully, LTK Cuties has a link to a YouTube video that she has the um of the pattern. I don't know if it's just on her channel because I bought the actual pattern, so I don't know if she has it like one of those private videos that you get when you know, click a link in a pattern. So, but you might be able to, because I've seen she has YouTube shorts that show the cup cozies and things like that. So I have these, and like I said, once you watch the video and you get the pattern down, it's so simple and so easy and quick. I was frustrated the first time I did one, and I think I messed up on my rows and counting and everything. So it's a little bit wider, and it, I'll probably use it for myself. Um, but I have two blue. This other one, I was gonna have two of these, but the second one, I might have made a third one. I think I made a third one. Um, yeah, I did. So I think they work up nice with Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn, because it's so much softer than Red Heart Super Saver. But you use what you have. If you have access to only Red Heart Super Saver, then use Red Heart Super Saver. But I really like the variegated colors by Hobby Lobby. They come out really nice. So I know that Christine puts some felties on them, patches, or wherever on them. She has different ones like Taylor Swift theme and this theme and that theme, and that's great. I'm leaving some of them plain. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I told you I was just going to town making these. So that's 10. And then I started putting patches on them. And I was looking at through my packaging that I have, because I want to keep these packaged so they don't, get dirty, because they're smaller. I have a feeling that people would tend to pick them up more, and I just, but so I have this. This is the packaging that I'm using right now, because I needed something wide enough to fit it. And I don't know if I'm gonna, seal it down like this and maybe put a logo sticker, just so it's, not as big. Or I don't know if I'm going to hang them on my pegs that I have from my thing. But I went ahead and I found and ordered some of these cute little patches from Amazon, and these came in a whole bundle. So I have this one here as well. This came as part of the bundle. Um, this is the story of my life, as you can see. I also bought some flower ones. So I have these flower patches that I put on, different ones. See, this one I couldn't fit it in. It's just a matter of tension and how tight you crochet. But I have a bunch of the patches that I have. Um, they were cheap on Amazon. I think they were maybe $9 or $10 for the set. And so that's what I'm doing with these. I don't know how many I'm going to leave. I'm going to make a couple with the patches on, see if they sell with the patches. And then you know, if the ones with the patches sell, then I'll have more left over that I can just attach them on, and I just hot glued them on with my hot glue gun. So yeah, like I said, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think there's 15, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 15. And I'm telling you, they really did not take a long time to make. So because I was so confident in being able to make the cup cozy, I started thinking, well, what else? And I started looking at LTK Cutie's Etsy shop, and she also has a bundle where she makes a Kindle sleeve, and in the bundle is also a book sleeve. So if you have friends or family, or you are a reader and you use a Kindle, or you have books, um, she has it's the same stitch, the same meadow stitch, but it's a Kindle cover and a book sleeve. So I started making those, and I went ahead and I bought a book lovers patch kit. I think there were 36 in here. I think maybe $12 on Amazon. And I started going to town making these Kindle sleeves too. I mean, it was, because it's ridiculous how quick these work up. And you know what? I think I'm gonna just, DM her and let her know that I love this pattern. So I ordered, I don't know, these are not the same size, but these are just a little small for fitting the Kindle sleeve. But you know what? You use what you got for right now. Um, so I have this one with a, like I said, with a patch, hot glued it on, just a girl who loves books. And I bought these buttons on Amazon. They're wood buttons, little heart shapes. Um, I also have, daisies, book, book club girly. So I have that one. Some of them I left with no patch. Um, and I bought these. They're like kind of toggle buttons. Um, I got them in a bag from, they're called, it's a 50-piece brown olive shape decoration accessory. But it was a pack of 50. I think it was $6 on Amazon. Um, I will link I will link all the patches, and I will link the buttons that I have. Um, I think these buttons I got from either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I'm not sure. I've had these forever, because I had originally planned to do other stuff with them and never did. So there's those. Then there's Gorgeous Girlies Love Books, again with another button. I think it's Hobby Lobby where I got the buttons, because think I remember seeing them there when I went to get more yarn before last weekend. But yeah, these I got from Hobby Lobby. These are Hobby Lobby buttons. Um, more variegated yarn. I think these look amazing in variegated yarn. This one is actually Red Heart Super Saver that I found the yarn at Walmart, but I liked the coloring. Again, this is the I love this yarn. This one is from Michael's. This was Loops and Threads. This was Hobby Lobby. It was not I love this yarn. This is the no pill yarn that they have. Then there's, like I said, these two that I have is the Red Heart Super Saver, the neon. I got this off of Amazon because you can't find it anywhere but Amazon. This was I was really irritated because the skein that I have is a Red Heart Super Saver. It's a Red Heart, but it's the ombre. but I guess the ombre effect is really long in the run because I don't really, I mean, it looks like it might start getting a little bit lighter up here than it is down here, but you know, there isn't much ombre. Um, this is I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and this is I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I have 9 Kindle covers. So, you know, I'm going to be good with that. And again, these patches are really cute. There's like totally love books and bookish girly. I bought the girl ones because more girls are going to carry a crocheted Kindle cover than a guy, but you never know. And then another, again, another pattern from LTK Cuties that I bought because again, it's the meadow stitch, is it's a clutch bag. Um, so what it is, it opens like this. She says in the pattern you can buy like a wristlet that, you know, clips on with like a lobster kind of clip. I have to get a button. The button goes here, and then you just do it through the stitches. I have not put the button on yet because I was trying to figure out, this is, again, this is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's one of the variegateds. I think it's great. It's nice and soft. Um, and I wanted to make it like a wristlet. Um, but I wanted to have the wristlet strap match this pattern. And I was like, oh, maybe I can figure out just how to do a cluster of 2 as a strap. And as I've said in the past, I am not a pattern designer. I am, you know, I can figure out how to adjust some things on patterns, but yeah, that this was a no for me. So I just went onto YouTube and I searched for crocheted wristlet videos, and what I found was this. And this is it's a wristlet. Uh, you just make it basically really as long as you need. I mean, I still have more of this yarn. I could just make one big long one and make a big strap and sew it on to the, but like I said, I wanted to try doing a wristlet. I do have, I just have to figure out, I think I'm going to just somehow attach it to the corner where it's permanently attached. It's not able to come off. I do have um, the metal hooks in one of my um, things over there. Those are like photo keepers that I keep all my eyes and my, you know, beads and things like that in. And in there I do have, because I originally wanted to make some just keychains, you know, and have a keychain end on the end of it. And I just have to watch a tutorial on how to attach it. I think you just single crochet them on. Um, but once I figure that out, I'll have it where, you know, it is detachable. But for now, this one is going to be, um, you know, a permanent fixture with that on it. But again, like I said, LTK Cuties. This one is the Meadow Clutch. Then it's the Meadow Kindle cover, and then the Meadow Cup Cozy. Um, I can't say enough good things about the patterns and everything. And if I can remember, I will also look in my watch history to link the video for this wristlet pattern, which once you get the hang of this one, oh my, you could go, you could just sit there for hours and, have a ton of it. So yeah, I might make some straps um, for some of these clutches, but they're, I mean, you could even put your, I think she has a phone case one also. So I might do that because now I love making the amigurumis. I love that. I will never stop making these, but I also want to have enough variety in my booth to where, some people come in your booth and they don't have any kids, or they don't have anybody that they would want to buy, you know, a stuffed axolotl for. But they might have a coworker whose birthday is coming up and sees this and goes, "Oh my God, so and so would love that." Or Secret Santas or white elephant gifts for the holidays, or Mother's Day, just other adult birthdays, adult female birthdays. Um, so I think I'm going to also and I got a lot of acrylic yarn that I need to use. Um, because originally when I got back into crocheting, I was afraid of the chenille yarn. I was afraid of the bulky yarn. It scared me because I was afraid that I wouldn't ever be able to find my stitches. And I learned that that's not true. It's just one of those practice things. But I do have a lot of acrylic yarn. I have some really nice wool that I had bought when I was, watching the other YouTubers. What are you crying for? When I first started, and I'm like, oh, I'll just make hats and I'll make scarves and I'll do this and that and everything. And I started buying acrylic yarn. And so I need something to do with the acrylic yarn that I've accumulated. And I mean, before last Friday, not this Friday that just passed, not yesterday, the Friday before the snow came or the ice came, I was like, well, we've gone grocery shopping and we've gotten our stuff. I said, I need to go to Hobby Lobby because I need to get some acrylic. I must have bought like 8 skeins more of acrylic yarn. I bought this color. I bought this color. I bought this color. This one is Daydreamery, you know, and I bought a bunch of acrylic yarn because I knew I was going to be making these. So this is my, maybe I'll do that over the snow apocalypse that's incoming. Um, but we'll see. So yeah, so like I said, I want to add additional things. So for my, my booth. And I have other things that are, puttering around in the brain to do for my crochet business. And, I'm thinking about things, and there's some things that I've been watching on YouTube that I really want to I'm thinking about getting into, and I'm trying not to let my ADHD, focus on one specific thing as in a new hobby. I want to keep doing my crochet, but I keep thinking of different ideas and seeing different things and everything. Um, so like I said, I have some ideas in my head that we'll see how they go. Um, and finally, last but not least, I had seen Christine had from What's Up Cupcake again. Those are my 2 favorite channels. What's Up Cupcake and Knotting Hook Crochet are my 2 go-tos. Um, when I first started doing craft shows, selling the crochet, I had my chicken nuggets. And I don't think I was marketing them very well because I didn't, they were just out on the table next to my little peanuts that I had. Um, and I don't think anybody really knew what they were. And they were still, because of the yarn that I used, they were a little too big to be made into a keychain. So I just had them on the table and nobody knew what they were. So I had gotten one of those red fry baskets that you get at restaurants. You can get them at restaurant supply stores and everything. You know, they put the paper in. And if anybody's ever been to Freddy's, um, the burgers and custard restaurant, fast food place, um, what they serve in is they give you your food in a red basket with the paper and everything. So I had gotten, you know, like I said, from restaurant supply stores, you can get them. You can probably find them on Amazon. I'm surprised I didn't think about doing that. Um, but I did get one basket and I started putting my nuggets in it. And I think it brought a little bit more attention to them on the table. But then I had seen that Christine from What's Up Cupcake had gotten the French fry boxes. Now hers are black. I saw the black ones, but I wanted to do white. And I went ahead and I printed out stickers, emotional support chicky nuggy. And I bought, and I didn't bring it in here because I don't like it. I had purchased some um, paper, like not, it's like the paper that lines the baskets, right, for when you get your food. And it was the red and white checkered, and it looked like it in the Amazon thing, in the Amazon listing and everything. It looked exactly like what I wanted, the red and white checker. And when I got it, it looked like a 3D checkerboard image, kind of. It looked puffy, and it looked like it was like kind of like a picture that was printed out on the papers. I mean, it was thin like the tissue, like what you would get at a restaurant, but I just didn't like the way it looked. So my whole idea is to put some of that paper in there, like cut a little square or a rectangle and put the nugget in it and put him in, so that I have the red and white checker um, as a little bit of a pop of color for them. But I do have two of them. I have four more nuggets made that are in my closet in my storage for my shows. But I bought a pack of the fry boxes. Again, I will put them on my Amazon list. And I have my stickers that I printed out with my Munbin, which again is another reason why I wanted this printer, and I love this printer. It lets me print out whatever I need, you know, can design and need and everything. Um, so I have those. Let me see. Did I get everything that was on the table back here that I wanted to show y'all? I think so, which I think is a good thing, because once I splice this video together with the other one that I originally started, Lord knows how long I have been talking. Yes, I know. I know. You're very upset that we're in here. I know. It's okay. So yeah, I'm going to start looking for more events to do, more shows to do, working on these. I was thinking about putting these like in my Etsy shop, you know, for people to purchase, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to start going the Etsy route again, because I did have the Etsy route with my my cup business. It's just, it's a lot of work. Uh, and with this, I would need to make sure that my inventory is up to date, because if I sold something at a show, I would have to come and update it in Etsy. And like I said, I don't know if I'm ready to go that route. So anyway, y'all have any questions, and I know I never say it, but please feel free to like, share, subscribe, email me, DM me on Instagram, whatever, if you have any questions about a pattern that I've done and I didn't say where it came from, or it's, I didn't put it in my not my Etsy, in my Google sheet, if I, what do you call it, went ahead and totally forgot, because knowing me, that is 100% possible. Um, and you know, if you're another creator on here, and you want to chit chat and spitball ideas and everything, or if you want me to test a pattern, I've been trying to get into pattern testing, but a lot of the pattern tests that I apply to, I don't get picked for them, but whatever. And I know it's because I don't really post that much to my Instagram. I try to, um, because they want to see the quality of your work and everything. But if you just want another crochet friend, feel free to give me a shout. Again, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. And that is going to wrap it up for this too long and really late video. So have a great weekend, everybody. And if you are in the North Carolina area and you are getting this snow, please stay home and be safe, as I will be doing. And I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.